Hey guys, it's Patrick. I'm here doing yet another knot for neckties. Today I am going to show you the first of the woven knots that I know how to do. Woven knots are a little bit different and they're a little bit tricky, but if you get them right, they're pretty cool. They can work really well if you're going to a party or if you're going to, they're not so much for business, although if you know who you're meeting with, they can be kind of fun for a business engagement. But I wouldn't suggest going with a really complicated woven knot the first time you meet someone, like a job interview, unless you're really sure that you can talk about it and just have fun with it. Otherwise, it's really good for a party or for a wedding. I know that a lot of wedding parties, we're doing these more complex knots for, say, best men and grooms and stuff instead of a bow tie. So this one's called the Trinity Knot. It's called the Trinity Knot because it has 3 knots in it. It has nothing to do with the Catholic Church or with the matrix. So this knot works best if you are using a tie that doesn't have a very distinctive pattern on it. It can have a pattern, but a more plain pattern, this is very light pattern, works really well. It also works with a much lighter tie, so you don't want a really heavy material for your tie for this to work. If you haven't done a woven knot before, they're a little bit different than you might be used to. One, you're not going to be using the wide side very much at all. In fact, it's just the first bit. All of the tying happens with the thinner end, so you're going to need a lot of it. So what I do is I always adjust the tie so that it hits where I want it to, which is down around my waist, down by the top of my belt buckle. That's usually where I like my ties to hit. And you're going to make, this is my worst part, you're going to make your dimple. The dimple just shows where the tie is tied. I tend to make the dimple and then just place it exactly where I want that to be. So that's the middle of the tie where you would have the knot up here, and you will. So now all the rest of the work is going to happen with the thin side of the tie. And what you're going to start with is you're going to cross over the dimple right here. So just pull it across, right? Just like that. And then go under the loop at your collar. So if you've done the Windsor knot tutorial, that's going to be a very, you're going to be used to that. Now I like to pull this kind of tight after I do this because it's going to sit wherever you leave it. You're not going to make many adjustments with the wide part of your tie. After you've gone up and through the loop, you're going to go behind the tie, just behind the tie, and then over the loop around your neck. So what you've done is you've made your little heart shape, your little triangle shape, just like that. So you've gone under on the first part, underneath the tie, and then over. All right? So now what you're going to do is take the long end, slide it underneath the wide end again. So you've gone under, under, over, under. Okay? If you want to keep track. And now, just as with most other ties, you're going to make the first cover. First cover is just exactly as you do it for every other tie. And that's just right here. So you're going to have your nice triangle right here. So you could actually stop right here. You'd have way too much of the loose end, but you could stop here and make a basic knot, but we're going to keep going. So again, we're going to go underneath your loop, and then just like you're used to in making a tie, you're going to pull through the top. Now normally when you are doing this on a basic knot, you would pull this tight and then just adjust and then you're done. But because we're making a more fancy knot, we're going to keep this part loose, the top part. You can pull this bottom, pull the back of this, and pull the bottom fairly tight, but keep this loose because we're going to come back through this. So you're going to do that. Now this front part, we're going to once again sneak it behind the tie, and then take the short part here, and we are going to feed it through the top, just like this. Okay, so now what you have, and this does take a bit of adjustment after you've done it, and don't feel like you have to get it really fast. This is not a fast, let's get ready for the office tie. This is more of a, let's go out to a wedding or to a party or something. So that's your Trinity knot. Because of the light color, let's show this really right up front. Let's adjust the bottom here. Just my dimples are never that great. So as you see, you have 1, 2, 3 covers. Now what do you do with this back part? This is a very long tie. It is hitting in the right part, but I do have a lot left. You wouldn't put it behind your tie because the knot ends up at the top. So what you do is you put it behind your collar and sort of sneak it in. And because it's a very long tie, I have to sneak it in towards the back. But it's okay. Just fit it underneath. And then you're going to want a really stable collar. This is not for a loose collar. This is not a good style for someone with a really loose collar because you are covering up that bit right there. This one came out okay. A little bit messy on the bottom, but again, you can adjust that just a little bit. So what you have is a 3-sided knot. It sits really nicely. It's really fun, and the thing is that it doesn't look so different from a Windsor knot or a basic four-in-hand knot that people are going to notice too much, but the people who do probably know about woven knots and fun different tie styles, and you may want to talk to them about it. And it also can add a little bit of fanciness, a little bit of formality to just a basic outfit. So if you are in a wedding party and you want all of the groomsmen to have long ties instead of a bow tie, but you want them to be a little bit fancier, you may want to see if you can do one of these woven styles. I know a lot of bridal shops and tuxedo places are now teaching their staff how to do these more woven ties. Give it a shot. It takes a lot of practice. There's a lot of under-over, but it takes, once you get it, and it's just a different way of tying a tie. Hope you like this. I have some other tie tutorials, and I'm planning on making a few more of some more woven knots and possibly bow ties and other types of ties. Thanks very much.